which just seems like a waste of resources because E is very selfish, not exactly gank-oriented build. It's kind of like, I'm going to team fight and try to get resets.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work out. W is much more effective, 50% slow, vision for checking the bushes. Yeah. Also, you're going to spread the damage from the ability you're maxing across more people. It just seems more bang for your buck.
Well, look at this, though. Thresh turns out to be the top pick now for Gambit Gaming. They've removed Nick Zed. They've realized it's actually a very scary champion. The Alistar still banned by the red team. But Thresh is the top pick, which means immediately Tristana and Maokai do get grabbed. And we heard, I believe it was Crumbs or Dominate, I forget which one said it, but he's like, yeah, you know, blue side picks one, and then red tries to get two sort of, air quotes, OP champions. Thresh, not that common of a first pick.
No, but they wanted it locked up for Edward, and they wanted to take that away from Zaitan. That is his most played throughout the Summer Series and the playoffs. He falls back on Braum, sometimes Nami, but he's going to need something here to synergize with Z's and keep him safe in that bot lane. So it could be either of them.
So interesting here, but that's going to be the hover on the rest of this now. Gambit make the next couple of choices. SK Prime not picking any surprising champions whatsoever. And now let's see. Kha'Zix for Diamond. It was banned away in Game 1. It was first picked in Game 2. Is Diamond really this Kha'Zix god that was requiring so much attention to pick some bans earlier?
Yeah, he has not gotten it before. The hover over onto it. He wants to do it.
All right.
You can see that. He's going to lock that in for himself. Is he the Kha'Zix god?
We're going to have to see.
Well, he doesn't have a mid laner who's going to take it from him anymore, so.
Potentially. You never know. Nick lost 2 AD assassins already in picks and bans, so maybe he'll want a third here. Lucian, though, for Curzon is interesting. They don't rush pick a top laner or a mid laner there. They're letting everything else kind of fall in and get picked up whenever. SK Prime will now have to blind pick their mid laner or grab their jungle pick. Could be Fizz and it could be both.
It could. It could definitely be a Fizz coming out here. I assume they're going to leave Watafox to have his counter pick here, because last time he picked a Syndra into a matchup where there were a lot of gap closers onto him. And oh my god, Freak.
Yep. This I like a lot, actually. I really love red side Fizz. They did it in Game 1 as well, because it guarantees you see all of Gambit's matchups before you choose where Fizz goes.
It's such a good flex pick. You wouldn't think it, but it's a flex pick. We live in a world
where Fizz is a flex pick.
In a world where Fizz is a flex pick. It's utterly ridiculous.
One man,
one fish,
plays Jungle Fizz.
Kick his ears.
Fizz.
During the 2015 Spring Promotion Tournament.
What, you got the disclaimers going on now? Coming this fall.
That wasn't a disclaimer. That was
to the
telling
LCS.
you when it's happening.
That's true.
Anyway, that's going to be a Rise locked in for Kuban on the top lane up against Smitty J's Maokai. And ooh. So another assassin here for Nick in the mid lane.
You know what's weird? Is I feel like when you see the flex pick locked in, it actually puts more stress on your champion picks than by seeing it just be completely blind. You're like, okay, I have to make sure I can deal with Fizz. Like, you always have to make sure you can deal with Fizz. Fizz could always be picked. But like, it like puts an extra strain of like, he could be in this mid lane right now.
Exactly. That's why I love it so much, because it's kind of like a bait, but at the same time, if you pick a champion that's bad against Fizz, he'll just be like, oh, no,
Great.
I'll just take the Fizz.
Yeah, whatever, YOLO.
Here's your Jarvan. He could pull that off. He could even do that right now with the Fizz if he wanted to. Or Kikis just really wants it that badly, and Watafox will go back to something like Syndra, or he'll go into something like Ori. Oriana's actually banned out. He'll pick something like a Ziggs.
I want to see. 8 seconds to go. They're taking their time. Talon is the hover.
Okay.
And it's picked up there. Watafox gets the Talon mid lane up here against Ahri.
Man,
I do want to see what happens here.
This team, SK Gaming Prime, they are not afraid to whip out these champions that are little unorthodox. You know, Talon, he was seeing more play, but up against this Ahri, dodge a charm by jumping to the back of him.
Yep.
Silence him, cutthroat, you're all good.
True. Well, they have the damage, especially if they can time this one together, because you put the cutthroat on right as you pull the shark out, and you can't flash away from it. So Nick could be in a whole bunch of trouble here. Diamond did get his Kha'Zix, though, for the first time this series. And Edward with the first pick, Thresh. Man, the Thresh Prince, we know he is great at this champion. And I want to see what else these guys can pull out. SK Gaming pulling out new stuff.
There's going to be some blood.
The old.
There's going to be a lot of blood this game.
There will be.
You have basically like 4 assassin-oriented people with jungle mid, jungle mid, and you know they're going to clash because it's just such a jungle mid-oriented matchup in terms of the teams and their styles.
They're the roles that seem to matter the most in this game. They're getting their teams ahead, and the other lanes aren't really bullying out that hard, so all the action tends to be in the middle of the map. We're going to see if that ends up happening again in Game 3. We're about to go live, so be sure to tweet us who you think's going to win this game. Send hashtag GMB win or hashtag SKP win to @LOL Esports, and we'll be tracking the votes throughout our series here. SK Prime back to the jungle fizz there for Kikis. Got to see what happens with these guys. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun just because craziness more. I wonder if he's going to keep doing the AD fizz. Oh, by the way, I did check out his runes and masteries, so the rundown for this wonderful fizz. Attack speed marks, health per level seals, 3 CDR per level glyphs, 6 magic resist per level glyphs, so it's basically 5% CDR at 18, and 3 ability power quints.
I don't know why you gotta tell people this. I was gonna do that when I went home. It's done. It's ruined.
Too late,
it's ruined,
bro. Masteries 28-2-0.
Yeah, that's because he's jungling. Usually you'll do 30-0 on Fizz if you're just a man, but he wants those 2 for the jungle creeps.
And it seemed to be enough for him. And again, he maxed W and then E. Lizard Elder into Triforce into Tanky.
It's a crazy auto attack master, but here we go. Death the ball from SKP.
Walking through wards, they don't even care. Another trinket over the wall from Kuban, going to keep them safe. Edward spots them. Actually gets shot at, though.
Oh.
He feels safe, though. There's so little CC on SK Prime, though. It's just Braum Q. And then Smitty has to get into range for the rest of his stuff.
Where could they be?
What? This is just...
They know exactly where they are.
Wait,
SKP,
seriously?
SKP.
What's going on right now?
To the choke point right now.
All right.
Oh,
SK
God.
Prime saying, you know what, let us out. And Gambit says, we're going to hook Z's.
Oh, they got Z's!
The hook! Z's, you were in a bad spot, but in comes the jump. Nick flashes away, stays alive. Z's, one hit from dead, goes down. First blood to Kuban. Gambit still in the mix. SK Prime desperately trying to leave this fight. Not what they wanted at all.
The charm, the very tip of it, but
they re-engage on the tanky Thresh, though. This is not good. A second kill is picked up. 2 for 1 so far. Okay. SKP backing out. But still.
I said there was going to be blood, but I didn't know it was going to happen in small court. They're going back. What are you doing?
There are more kills than minutes in the game right now.
Oh, wow. So bloody game right out the gate, but here's what ended up happening. There's a ton of assists across the board for Gambit here, in the mid lane, in that bot lane. SKP, they're going to lane swap this. They don't want to have to deal with that Lucian who has more consumables and is definitely going to dominate that lane.
And here's the thing, is Gambit gets to walk in the bot lane with, those potions, and life's going to be painful. So let's see. Lane swap here for SK Prime. Tristana just going to chill up there, try to farm. They are still doing the same thing where they are duo laning up there and just slowly, or I guess kind of as quickly as they can, push the turret down, as opposed to the solo AD carry getting a bunch of XP on him.
Oh, Edward is actually harassing Kikis in his jungle. He's keeping tabs on him. Having to jungle with Smitty J. And the big thing here is all the summoner spells that have been blown. Multiple flashes. Every flash on Gambit Gaming was blown here. So if Kikis can capitalize off of that before they're back up around the 6-minute mark, then he can get some kills for himself. But I think Gambit's going to play a little more conservative, a little more reserved until that point.
Yeah, it seems like he's slowing down a little bit here.
But on the flip side, Diamond, he can take advantage of the blown flashes on SKP. So both these junglers, jungler paradise. It's happening all over again.
Man, this is Coolio stuff here for Diamond then. Can he get into the mid lane? A ward says no. What the Fox, though, on the wrong side of the lane, gets reached. The slow is there. What the Fox has flash. Charm has to flash away from that one. All right. But that is a summoner spell lost.
He has a lot of consumables. Kikis and Smitty J are actually going to take a little trek down here. Is there a ward? No, there isn't. Nick doesn't have his flash.
He's on the wrong side of this lane.
Smitty has his.
In comes the flash route, and there's nowhere for Nick to go. There's all the slows. There's the kill picked up. Smitty gets it back 2-2 in the game.
Kikis and Smitty. Smitty still had his flash and made complete advantage of that. When a level 1 happens, you still have to take into account what summoner spells were blown, because now it's completely even across the board in terms of gold.
Alrighty, so what are we going to have play here? Top lane under fire. Z is doing what he can. Kuban, though, because they're only pushing lanes and not harassing, is actually getting...
Digna Flash is being down. Kikis doesn't have his.
Oh, man. 200 health. Diamond does get away with the Playful Trickster, or gets run away from by Kikis with the Playful Trickster. There we go, Grammar. he's gonna get the white here. So far so good. Gambit on the slightest of leads. But yeah, what I was saying before is Kuban is getting time to farm because SKP are only going for turret damage. They're not hitting him nearly as much. So this Rise is allowed to scale up somewhat.
Yeah, Zaitan, they're pushing the wave up. Zaitan's using his unbreakable, to stand in front of it and block all the shots that Kuban would be putting at the minions so that he loses some CS underneath the turret.
That's good.
But he can't deny all of it. But Smitty J did end up catching up because he helped out in the kill.
We'll see where the Maokai ends up going. Still only 5 CS on him. Is bot lane in a 1v2 for now. We're going to see. He is against a level 3 Thresh and a level 3 Lucian as a level 2 Maokai. He's not quite able to get the CS with his Q right here. So a very slow start for Smitty J.
Both these junglers, they have about a minute window right now where they can make one more gank and get some kills off of these blown flashes. So Kikis, he's actually coming around. Kuban is here too.
Wow, the roam around. He does get spotted by a ward, though, in the brush right below him.
Yeah, they know exactly where Kuban is now. On the side of SKP.
Looks like he's not going to get much of a play happened here. Kikis will remove this white camp one more time. And we're going to see if Kuban can make something happen. WhatTheFox's flash is actually down for a while. Wow, that charm hit! This is not good for WhatTheFox. There's no flash just yet for Kuban, but the Rune Prison is in range. There's the Q. There's the Ignite. Oh! One last Q. Can't quite reach. That won't matter. That's the last Ignite tick. Kill goes over to Nick.
And the true damage is burning through the extra bonus stats from the stand behind me. It doesn't matter at all. Kuban TPing back top, and he's there for the minion wave.
What a good roam. Didn't even have to flash for it. Just walked forward until his opponents died. Beautiful stuff there by Gambit.
A big part of that is you typically run movement speed contestances on Rise, so he's able to close that distance a little bit faster. WhatTheFox, the big thing was that he walked into a charm from Nick. Kind of got padded into it while moving by the minions.
He was just trying to build as much distance as possible from Rise and then got kind of pushed up against the wall. And it wasn't enough for him. So
all those flash windows closed.
Yep.
6 minutes, 30 seconds. All flashes are back up except for mid lane and top lane for SKP.
I guess you could say the plugin crashed. All the flash windows have closed. Browser joke? Yeah, that's right.
Freak's biggest fan is attending today. How much you pay that guy?
You tweeted them out yesterday. They're taped up against the railings.
They are. Oh. How much did you pay that guy, though? Seriously.
I just paid attention.
Yeah, see? Oh, how quickly they turn.
Well, here we go, though. SK Prime trying to claw back into this one. And we're going to see that top lane's still under siege. We're just watching Z's and Zaitan. Such letter synergy in their names. Just pushing down this top lane turret. Kuban not able to easily defend 1v2. But he's still just getting that farm going. Look at that. Yeah, that was really nice. Zaitan blocks a lot of the gold income. And that will be... All right, turret killed first of the game. SK Prime back close in gold because of this, but Zaitan...
They have to back up.
Oh, man.
Here comes Ahri. Here comes Nick.
Level 6 Ahri, 300 health Braum. He does have flash. He has exhaust. Summoner heals up as well. Charm's going to come in and gets it. Exhaust not going to be enough. Diamond gets the kill, and now Z's stuck a little bit. But Smitty J comes in. Kuban's got to be real careful. He does have flash, but he's locked up for too long. Kill picked up by the Maokai. Now Diamond is low. Flash away from the rocket jump. There's a lantern that no one wants to take. WhatTheFox a little bit far away. Nick gets the Q. Ooh, that was nearly a kill on Smitty J if those skill shots landed.
The hook stalled out WhatTheFox so that he couldn't use his ultimate and close that distance with the extra bonus movement speed. Good roams there. On the overall, I believe it's just a 1-for-1. And a turret falling into the hands of SKP's 500 gold deficit after everything's all said and done.
But also keep in mind, it's a lot of comparative gold for Z's here. He had local gold. He got the assist as well on that kill. So he's actually starting to scale above Krislin just a little bit. He's going to back, should have BF sword on this recall. And that will allow him to hold onto a 2-on-2 lane a little bit better than he might have otherwise, since he was down potions from the level 1. Also keep in mind, that level 1 gold that Gambit all got, almost down the line went into consumables, because it was a lot of assist gold. So a lot of that gold has actually disappeared at this point. It's already been paid for.
Yeah, it just evaporated. It's not ineffective combat stats at this point in the game.
Right. Also, in terms of combat stats, actually more recalls have also come through for SKP. So until we see Krislin go back to base, this Tristana's going to do a lot more for a maybe dragon fight.
Yeah, exactly. What they ended up doing with the lane swap is farm until BF, get BF sword, back, go straight to the dragon, or at least establish dragon control. And the fact that Crystalline hasn't backed yet, he'll have more items, but right now he's just burning a hole in his pocket.
Here he
with
goes.
all this money. If
All right.
they see him back,
I think they expect him to back. Smitty sees this. He can sapling him. This is actually good for SKP. They really could force off the 80 carry power difference.
yeah, he's trying to back desperately right now. They'll get some turret damage, but they're also calling Rise down here too. So he's going to back.
Yep.
And yeah, it looks like the call might be
Kick is heading down.
get the dragon.
Okay. So there is a very small window, about 20 seconds till Crystalline shows up. He's got boots 1. He's going to get there pretty quickly, but there's a dragon attempt. Diamond in the wings, evolve W, good poke.
Yeah. Poke is so good at this dragon right now. The fact that he evolved his W is definitely going to help them out.
Nope.
Not going to take it, but look at that.
All right.
Because of the back, because Z's got there first, and he was able to have that BF sword, Crystalline hadn't backed. He had the pressure on him, gave them enough time.
He waited too many waves.
Yep.
Like, look how rich that recall was. Plus boots 1, plus a pink ward, plus new potions. That's like 4 or 5 extra waves they didn't need to wait for. You could have backed just on BF and pink ward like 2 minutes ago and been there and available for a dragon.
Yeah, and SKP had already established dominance in the air. Fox, he has to get out.
Ooh, he ended the ult too soon, though. He could have kept the move speed and the invisibility for longer. That made him lose his flash against Nick.
Kuban's actually just been roaming around the map,
Yeah.
trying to be very effective. He actually has 100% kill participation at this moment as a Rise from the top lane that got lane swapped on.
I guess you could say his kill participation has really rised a lot this game. You're just done. You're just so done with
I'm
this.
not giving you a reaction. I know that.
That's
I know
fine.
that
The audience does.
Yeah.
I don't need you anymore. Gambit, though, they definitely need to get some gold back in for themselves. Down 300 right here. Great dragon by SKP. Puts them ahead. Zaitan actually doesn't quite block that. The shield's too far left. The bullets go past the door. SK Prime now. Looking pretty good. And they've got good fallback, of course. They have this Tristana for the backline power. They've got this Maokai for the team fights. And by the way, it is a different build. Fizz went Spectral Wraith.
Yeah, he's swapped it up. Kikis is
Top lane,
He
though.
duped us.
Kikis is nowhere to be seen in this fight. It's Smitty J in a 1v2. He's taking a lot of damage from Kuban and Diamond. Knocks him back. Not going to matter. Nice kill picked up by Diamond. Overextended Maokai.
And the only thing we can really get is turret damage in this bot lane here. And Kikis showing up to get it. Oh. Troll pull. And he's done.
Yep. That'll be fine. So
We haven't seen a lot of action from Kikis in these last couple of minutes. He's really just been farming his jungle, trying to show up in the lanes and push them. He hasn't been making any bold moves ever since that window where they had blown flashes. I haven't seen a shark be thrown out from him yet.
yeah, me either. You're right.
He hasn't pushed a level 6 at all.
I guess it's been hard for him to find a way in on Nick, and the lanes have been so lopsided. There's just not been ganks available, it seems.
Yeah,
But
also
now-
Speedy J, why was he up so far?
He just was pushing.
He was pushing it, just causing as much pressure as he possibly could. He has his teleport available now, and there is a ward that's behind these guys, the bot lane here from Crystalline and Edward.
All right. There's the blue buff. Nick. Nice and happy on this one. Diamond has 3 kills, so he is pretty far ahead in this game. Level 8. Looking to make a lurking move into the top lane there. Smitty J. Down 2 levels. He's so far behind from this lane swap. Level 7,
speaking of
jumped on Rune Prison, jumps to a minion, tries to get away. Half health right now. 1100, gets out.
Good twisted advance there.
Yeah, he saw that
More
immediately.
More distance. And the flash away. Now we're going to see Kikis. I think he's going to go a long way around. He's going to jump a wall, take a trip. Hup.
Alrighty, he's going to get in behind the duo lane. Has a blue buff, has a Spectral Wraith. Does not get spotted.
Where's the fish?
Fish comes out, does not catch anyone, though Crystalline flashes out. He's safe. That fish barely missed Edward.
What? Kind of between them. It's like throwing a fish through a goalpost.
Yep, 3 points. I actually had a thought the other day, we shouldn't make American football references when we're casting EU teams.
Unless I say American football, right?
No, just in general.
Okay.
We should talk about stoppers and sweepers and stuff. And the keeper. Corner kick for Gambit Gaming. Coming up the brush. Actually, Chrisland, I mean, he could be playing Striker Ezra or Striker Lucian right now. What a hater.
Anyway, at the same time, throw all this stuff to the side, back to the game, watch the box. He's actually been doing a pretty good job on this Talon. He has more CS than Nick at the moment. But his roams, he's been kind of reactionary to what Nick has been doing because he hasn't been pairing up with Kikis in the same way. Because Diamond and Nick have become a roam squad, whereas they haven't done the same.
Yeah, you're right. We're just not like seeing the Talon go anywhere. He actually did get early movie boots as well. He's got the Brutalizer. Like, What the Fox can go make plays and go crush people. We're just not seeing him leave lane. Level 10 here. Nick sweeps the wave. Oh, the hook on Aziz, not good for the Trist. Flayed back as well. Ignite is on. Aziz knocks back Chrisland smartly, but 300 health. Oh my god, here comes Smitty J. Can he knock down Chrisland? Looks like the answer is going to be yes. Off of the stun. Now Edward pretty screwed, but in comes Kuban. Edward still though about to go down, burns the flash, might just get out, and in comes Diamond, but the rocket jump keeps him safe, and now WattDevox is showing up, the double kill for Smitty J. He falls onto the turret to Kuban. Diamond now forced to run, in comes Nick, Z's goes down, and Nick could go massive here. Tries to chase down on the Talon, can't quite do it, misses the charm on Zytown. That would have been the kill. Instead it's a 2 for 2, I believe, overall.
Yeah, and they just keep trickling in, and Kikis had nothing to do with that fight. All 5 members of Gambit did something, only 4 of SKP. Kikis was way too far away, and he didn't do anything. He didn't push a wave instead. He tries to show up, but it's just a trickle in back and forth.
Diamond gonna claim that. Puts Kikis away, and a turret.
Kikis maxed his E this time.
Okay.
So completely different build.
Well, yeah, he's got cooldown boots too. It's this like weird castery cooldown. Now AP Fizz.
Yeah, I like how after one game of AD Fizz with maxing W, we're like, what is he doing now? This is so unorthodox. The unorthodox stuff he was doing before. So if you just watch the minimap, it's so crazy because you see everybody start trickling in here, and the TPs come down, and then it just funnels up. It's kind of like an alternating ladder. Kha'Zix is going to show up now, zone off Z's. He's going to get out of there, and then Talon shows up, zones off Kha'Zix. That allows Z's to come back forward. Ahri shows up, says, oh, there's Z's. Goes straight after him, picks him off, and then they're like, uh-oh, we lost our AD carry. And then finally Kick shows up, but there's nothing. But here's this fight, 4-man.
Dragon fight, in goes Z's. Edward will go down. The Shark doesn't matter. Now Kuban also going to fall. 2 for 0. Double kill for SK Prime's AD carry. Mid lane under fire now.
They're going to go straight for this middle turret. That was a huge ultimate there from WattDevox. Like, usually Talon ultimates, you're like, oh, it's used to get mobility. That was a ton of damage he ended up dealing there to multiple members of Gambit Gaming to just soften them up for the fight.
That was a good thing then for SK Prime. They are actually still down in gold, though, from that last team fight of Gambit and everything else. Kikis, no blue up to steal. Still has stacks to spend.
And during all of that, there was actually the Dragon going over to Diamond, and Gambit Gaming picks it up for themselves.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's a lot more gold than I expected from that fight. But yeah, Turret and Dragon did go to Gambit then. All right, so 700 gold lead still for Gambit, despite that 2 for 0 just now. Also, almost all the gold is on Smitty J, so he is actually one of the big breadwinners for this team. He's a kind of a tanky bro now. Whereas it's actually Diamond who's got a very large number of kills for the team. He actually has more gold than this rise from Kuban. And we're seeing that, you know, Diamond has still been very effective on this Kha'Zix. There's clearly reason to deny that champion.
I was just thinking about champion pools too. You're talking about how they've been denying the Kha'Zix from him by banning it or picking it away. And now he's on it in 3-0-1. Probably the best showing he's had all day, statistically so far. But then if you think about like WattDevox, he plays so many champions in the mid lane. This is just another champion that we haven't seen him on before. Like I said, he played 8 different ones during 10 games. This is just the 9th one that we've seen these last couple of months from him. So his champion pool is very vast. He seems very skilled on these champions too. Like Talon, he's not the easiest champion to play. His laning phase is very punishable.
Yeah.
And you also have some timing windows and power spikes. Like if you get to that super late game, you're not as effective as if you had pushed your mid-game spikes. Your 1 item, your 2 item. Then when you get to max items, you're like, there's better assassins out there. But speaking of pushing your mid-game...
Wow, walks into a charm. WattDevox jumps right on in, though. Tries to get the damage. Not going to happen. 1 for 0, and Kikis is in the wrong part of town now. 2 kills picked up for Gambit. Edward Secures the kill.
And you're extremely squishy on top of all of that and extremely susceptible to CC, which Nick just threw out there and completely obliterated WattleFox, and Kikis pretty much had to sacrifice himself too at that point because Diamond showed up.
Wow, WattleFox didn't realize it was not just Thresh in that brush. And yeah.
They're going to push this bottom lane here on Gambit Gaming side with 3 members strong. SKP, they don't have an answer to this just yet. Instead, they're going to go try to push down mid.
Well, they're not getting very much done, though, because Kuban and Krislin happily stopping them here. Instead, it's the Gambit bot lane crew shoving down bot tier 2 just fine. 3,000 gold lead going to be here after the turret falls down. Gambit looking pretty darn good.
Looks like they might get collapsed on here by SKP. Moby Boots from Zaitan.
Eddie. Oh, wow, he caught up to him. And now Nick gets the charm out of Zaitan, but in comes Z's. The Q slow lands. There's nowhere for Nick to go. That's going to be 2 kills as payment for the bottom tier 2 turret.
But the mid tier 1 is being pressured now from Gambit Game. They are trading objectives for kills across the board here. It's just a bloody game, but on top of it, they're doing a really good job at trading objectives.
Yeah. Well, let's see if SKP can do something with these kills, though, because, of course, champions are dying when Dragon and stuff are off the map, when lanes are pushed out away from them. Mid lane looks like the focus.
They're going to go back to it.
Ooh, WattleFox and Diamond in a bit of a duel. Diamond, they're doing so well in this battle. WattleFox does win the fight with a Ravenous Hydra active at the end, and now mid tier 2 under fire.
Despite that pink ward, seeing WattleFox during it, still a victory for him.
But the play on a Spinny J, got to be careful. Rune Prison there as well. Team is forced to back away. He does not pop his ulti the entire time. He's forced to flash away. He could have just been blocking damage the whole time.
There is a little bit of a cast time on the ultimate that stops you, and you think he might have been afraid of being in range of Kuban.
Hell, he was Rune Prison for part of it.
Yeah.
Just cast it then. It's a 30-second cooldown. Whatever.
Yep.
Real men waste ultimate cooldowns. All right, so Kikis, does get his red buff for himself. Is on the way to Lich Bane, but this is going to be a much less powerful Assassin Fizz than a mid laner would have been. So I want to know how much this damage does scale up. Smitty, got to look for the root onto Krislin. Zaitan shows as well. Z's in the mix. Good flash by Krislin. The knockup will not land. And here comes Kuban. What can he do, though? It's a bit of a 2-on-3 as the team comes to reinforce a bit later on. Stun lands. Krislin will go down 1-for-0. The box doesn't mean too terribly much. And Edward now forced to run away as well.
WattleFox has the Moby Boots, has the ultimate. Not going to close that distance just yet. Instead, decides to clear out this mid wave with his Ravenous Hydra.
I actually find it interesting that WattleFox is going for both the Youmu's and the Hydra completion before Last Whisper. Because Whisper would have been more total damage on a spell combo, but the actives give him other utility like movement speed and clear ability. And
also the animation canceling on his ultimate.
But even just the Tiamat though, right? Like, to go from Tiamat to Hydra is 1,400 gold.
I don't think he would have beaten Diamond in that one-on-one.
Maybe not.
If he didn't have
it. And that's totally fair, of course, to say as well, right? But I just find it interesting that that's the choice he went for.
It's a choice, and it paid off for him.
Yep.
I'm sure it'll be his next item, though.
Yeah, Longsword, definitely Last Whisper. Watches like a Bloodthirster runner, just sad.
Stop.
Sword of the Occult. Learning from Alliance.
Bloodthirster, Ravenous Hydra. Oh, Lord.
Hey. I mean, they work.
Looking for a pick here.
Oh, wow. He's lucky the charm didn't hit. Flashes over the wall. He stays safe off of very little required by Gambit. Zaitan at the front line. Z's is there to clean up. Krislin versus WattleFox. Not happy for this poor little Lucian. He goes down in the 1v1. SK Prime Spinny J stays alive. And now the jump in towards Diamond, but Z's has to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage. Pushes Diamond over the wall, and now there's so much damage, so Zaitan holds the front line for as long as he can, but Spinny J is about to fall. WattleFox also getting chased down. So much damage comes out from Kuban, who now goes for Z's, and they crush SKP in that fight.
Ends up being a 5-for-2, and that's going to be Gambit picking up another dragon for themselves and accelerating this gold lead. That team fight couldn't have gone better for them at this point in the game.
No.
1v1 in the bot, Krislin ends up losing that to WattleFox. But at the same time, they end up winning the big bulk of the team fight. Kikis uses most of his resources here and is just pushed out of the fight. He is a non-factor for the rest of this fight and hangs off by the right until he gets picked off by Diamond Cross. Z's, he has to end up off on the side. He ends up getting in this distance closed back in on him when they turn this fight around. smittyj is in full retreat. Z's jumps forward, jumps towards Diamond, and then he flashes and has to be zoned off to the side. This entire time, you can see Kikis is off on the side, doing nothing. Diamond ends up picking him off on the side, and now Z's hasn't been doing damage. The effective DPS of most members of SKP was around that 0 portion for a good margin of that fight.
Kikis was zoned out the entire time.
Yeah, despite having a numbers advantage.
Sure. No, exactly. The fact that they got so outplayed in the team fight was massive for Gambit. SKP do at least get the bottom outer as Retribution, but they're still down in turrets, down in dragons, down in kills, down in gold. Krislin somewhere on the map. It's actually what the Fox is talking about here, though. Nick gonna go down towards What the Fox. And there's the kill picked up. Edward securing his 4th of the game. So far, so good for Edward, and Gambit, 5,000 gold up.
And at this point in the game, it's really hard for a Talon when the other team gets a little bit ahead of you, because he's a snowbally champion that relies on you to be ahead and continue to push that forward. Because when the other team gets a little bit ahead of you, it's so hard to come back as Talon.
That could be the painful truth for these guys now. Nice smite. It's going to be Kikis grabbing the big Wraith, but Gambit, definitely the bullies of the map right now. They are starting to get better and better as the series goes on. Gambit in control of the map now.
And they have complete ward coverage of that Baron area all across. There really isn't a whole lot for anybody to push on the map right now. It's really on Gambit to get these wards, keep these wards around the Baron, find a pick or 2 more, which they've been doing a good job of, and then going from there. Because they've been winning team fights on top of everything. So if they can get a pick before it with an Ahri charm, then they're good to go. Kuban still has this massive lead over smittyj in CS, in levels. And there's a fight, looking for the pick.
Hand does not quite get flayed, but Gambit still taking control. Ward coverage is still down. They're sweeping everything away. It's still the Gambit show. $5,200 gold lead. Diamond started out incredibly strong. He's now 4-1-5. That Kha'Zix really showing that it was probably pretty important for him. He's actually still out-leveling most players on his team. He's tied with Nick for first place in levels here, now 1 level behind, but this Kha'Zix, a very big deal for Gambit. Something I think definitely goes away in Game 4. SKP thought maybe they can let it through. That, you know, 3 picks went through, still no Kha'Zix, went over to Gambit.
Yeah, they've prioritized that Thresh for Edward.
And also, I mean, SKP put their bans on towards Nick. They got rid of the Zed. Their first 2 picks were on the Tristana and on the Maokai. I think these are more important as well. Well, Diamond maybe proving them wrong here.
Yeah, they were looking for that hyper late game for themselves.
And it still exists, to be fair.
It does.
There's a giant ceiling for this SKP lineup.
Once that Tristana, if it gets going, the fact that they have another threat from the jungle in this Fizz, like, he needs a lot of gold. He needs a lot of gold to be effective, and it's really hard for him to get it because he's in the jungle. But once he gets it, he's just going to be blowing people up. He can one-shot Nick, go one-shot Diamond. And even if he makes his way to Krislin.
We'll see. So far, the Assassins have done a good job of removing Krislin, but Kuban has been such a good, durable carry. That's why one of the reasons I really love Ryze against assassin-heavy teams, because Ryze typically does not get one shot, but still provides that persistent damage that wins team fights.
And he just destroys assassins with his Rune Risen.
Yeah. You can see Gambit also 2 pick cords in inventory, plus 2 upgraded sweepers. They can deal pretty reliably with the stealth of What the Fox.
Yeah, they've been putting a lot of resources into that, not just the sweepers, but like you said, the pink cord that they've been throwing down. They had one in the bush when Diamond was fighting him. Up top, they threw down one mid-fight. Pretty much treating him like an Ahri, or sorry, an Akali. I don't know why I said Ahri. Oh, she's on the screen.
Yeah.
Brain, please.
It's understandable, though. I know how that goes.
A champion, what is it? Boom, Akali.
Anivia?
Yep. Oh, the flash from Krislin to avoid the jungle waters.
Alright, that is an important 5-minute cooldown gone. If they actually have a way of dealing with Kuban, like if they peel for Z's and just remove Krislin, that should be a team fight win for SKP regardless of the gold lead right now.
At the same time, there is going to be a blue buff falling into Nick's hands here. The Dragon is up in 20 seconds, and there's pressure on this mid lane. You're going to go down bottom, establish Dragon control, clear out that huge wave, and start pushing that in their favor so they don't have to worry about this after the Dragon. They can continue their assault on mid.
And you can see how smart Gambit is, right? Ahri holds the bot lane. The rest of the team actually holds mid pretty successfully. This one caster minion won't allow a lot of push by SKP. You see they don't even try. They go for Krislin instead. Actually, a lot of damage dealt. The Lantern does not come in time. That is an assassination by SKP.
Well, you're talking about that. Kikis, this Fizz can blow people up, and with the help of What the Fox, it's even higher. The hook on Aziz, though.
Hook on Aziz. Yep, he will stay safe, though, with shield. Smitty J still holds the front line. Diamond is in the wings. 5,000 gold deficit. SK Prime bring that down towards 4,000. A little bit less than that here. Clawing back in. 2 for 2 on Dragons. 2 to 2, I should say. Realize their blue is gone.
You talked about the blown flash from the Chumla Waters on Krislin. They take complete advantage of that Kikis. We talked about him as a control capitalization type jungler, and he's really known for his 2-on-2 skirmishes, but he's also known for taking advantage of flash timers. We saw him do it in the early game before the 6-minute mark when the flashes were back up in mid, and we just saw him do it there where he's like, you don't have flash for the next 5 minutes. I know exactly what's going to happen here. We're going to blow you up. No questions. Gets down the Dragon. Gets them back into the game, and a 4,000 gold difference only between these two teams.
And I'm trying to figure out where this 4,000 gold lead comes from, because kills are 2 apart, turrets are 1 apart, dragons are equal. You can see, of course, individual contributions here where, like, kind of down the line, every lane is ahead here for Gambit.
Yeah, 40, 30, 30 CS.
Yeah, I guess it's just that. It's minions, really, are the reason that Gambit are ahead in gold, though these fights are still going to be very close.
Yeah, you can see that there's about 1,800 gold lead in the top lane. There's about a 1,000 gold lead mid lane. And then on the flip side, though, supports are about 700 between them, and that makes up for the 80 carries. So it's really... Oh, yeah, 1,500 in the junglers, too.
Yep. Kuban making his way forward. Mercury treads on him. We almost had 1 unique boot per member of Gambit.
Almost. Had to ruin it, though. Anyway, everybody is trying to get over to this Baron and establish ward control of it. It's so important because both these teams have so much assassination pick potential, but instead, SKP, they're not going to play that game. They're going to try to bait them out. And
the flash engage, Zaitan
they got
gets Nick. Doesn't get much more. Lanterns out. Fish comes in for Kuban. This could be good. They blow up Ryze and Z's survives. He kites the wave. Nick gets the kill though. Now Diamond on the chase. Kikis tries to survive, but he gets crushed down by Krislin. More kills going to Gambit. What the Fox though looks for Nick. Can he get it? There's the Q slow. He should probably die through that. The W. The heal comes out, and it might be enough. Zaitan dies through Charm. What the Fox forced to run. It's a 3 for 2 in Gambit's favor.
he got away. Nick got away, and Smitty J, he's trying to do the same.
Charm doesn't hit.
Go back in.
In goes What the Fox. Doesn't do enough though. There's the kill for Nick. An ace for Gambit.
They go back and forth, and they leave with 3 members with flashing HP bars.
Wow. I don't know. Oh my god, they're really going to try. No.
Oh, there's the TP.
Okay. It's a bit of a waste of Yomu's though.
You need to get the pit a little faster.
Great. Well, this will then be the Baron for Gambit Gaming. Good teleport by Kuban to take it out. Gambit, man, up 5,000, about to be closer to 7,000 as this goes down. Nicely played.
Crazy fight, back and forth. You can see that when there are so many assassins on the field, you really have to check your positioning at every moment in this game, because one misstep costs you. The Lantern from Edward saves Nick as Smitty J closes distance. You saw him stop there because he tried to twist in advance. They blow up Kuban, but then Nick re-engages, and nobody's paying attention to him when he was the primary focus before, and he ends up picking off Z's in the back line. Clean cut. Z's is one of the biggest contributors to this fight because he would have had the range to end this out, because now they don't have any range damage dealers left on the side of SKP, whereas Gambit pretty much only has that and Diamond. So they're just zoning. Krislin body blocks there. and stop Zaitan from closing distance. And they played this perfectly from start to finish. It was really crazy to watch this just play out. And Watt to Fox, he closes this distance, goes in, the W doesn't come back when you die.
Yep, just enough damage dealt there. Such an incredibly close game. These fights nearly go either way, but so far, Gambit are coming out ahead. Up 5 kills, up a bunch of money. And now they invade for the jungle. Kickus forced to get away. Blue buff controlled once again by Gambit here. They're looking at going ahead 2-1 in the series.
Baroned up, 6.6k gold lead here, but there is a Tristana, there is assassination potential on SKP. You can't really count them out against 3 squishies on Gambit Gaming. It's really hard to just discount them. Actually, Diamond, he's actually going quite tanky, quite quickly.
And notice that as well. He doesn't go Brutalizer. Hex Drinker and Last Whisper is his opening. No, Last Whisper.
He doesn't have a Last Whisper or
Just
Brutalizer.
kidding. Yeah.
Maw after his Elder Lizard, and now he's going full tank.
Yeah, he went for cooldown boots for the extra spam ability. Zaitan gets blown up over the wall. Krislin takes him down. Now into the base they go. Inhibitor turret under fire. Gambit doing what they can. Nick just pushing forward. He feels so safe. Gets a shield from Edward for good measure. Inhibitor now going to die. It's a 5-on-4. SK Prime cannot contest this.
Gambit Gaming Nick blowing them up over the wall with the help of Krislin. That's going to be the turret being sieged down at this point.
I don't know if they can quick close the game out. They've got minions coming in soon. Watt Fox in the wings. Will he try to fight this? Goes in for Diamond. He is not the right target. He gets exploded. Down goes the Talon. Fight begins. SmittyJ dies in the middle of the front line as well. 3 more kills picked up. Only Kickus alive. That is not the fight SKP wants. This will be a Gambit taking game 3.
SKP pretty much just throwing themselves on the sword. That is Gambit Gaming at this point. Accepting their fates and just going hard and not getting anything for it.
Yep, another kill as Zaitan revives. Nexus goes down. Gambit now 1 game away from rejoining the LCS.
And you can see the relief there from Kuban. It's like, just one more.
Yep.
Just got to do one more to reclaim their spot in the LCS.
And Kuban's been solid. 6-3-9 that game on Rise. He had carried a few of the team fights by himself as a tanky damage threat. And this is looking, again, better and better for Gambit. Diamond has gotten increasingly good throughout these games, and where Diamond goes, Gambit seems to follow.
That's definitely true. He seems to be the morale that they needed. And in that game 1, it was very, very defeating for them. It was very, very big struggle. And then they made it to the second game, and they're like, all right, we have to play to our win conditions, play to our team comp. And then they come into this game 3, like, just don't get picked off. Pick them off first. You know, we played against a Fizz jungle before. It's a different Fizz jungle this time, but they still outplayed it. And the Talon didn't come up big. Nick, really good charms throughout the game.
Yeah.
And they played that level 1. Like, I cannot stress how crazy a level 1 fight is. Like, if you go into a solo queue game, you're like, oh, it's a level 1 fight. When you're in a team level 1 fight, people are constantly calling things, and you don't have a lot at your disposal. You're trying to do more, like a 5v5 fight, with less, because everybody has one ability. And it's so difficult to play that right. And then when you do, you're like, all right, we played it right. We have to push our advantage. We get some consumables. And then they got lane swapped on. And then they went from there. And the fact they got lane swapped on and Kuban still did so well for himself, won the lane against Maokai when he showed up, had a level advantage all game long. He really deserves props for that. Yeah,
I absolutely agree with that one. It's been some incredible play. And again, great individual contributions. It's also worth pointing out, Gambit has now won the early game incredibly early off jungle invades in the last 2 games. The first one was a really smart play by Edward and Krislin together. They first blooded Kickus. This time around, an over-aggressive invade by SKP, another 2-1 there for Gambit. So it's even starting from the very, very beginning. And I wonder if that's actually starting to hurt SKP's morale as well. It seems like they're still fighting well, but like the very beginning of the game starts out poorly for SKP. Game 1, that didn't really happen. So if these guys can maybe get past the first 5 minutes without catastrophe, SKP, I think, will look a little bit better here. But we've got to see in the next game and maybe even game 5 of